Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, et cetera. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense.
Cenk Uygur was a guest on Piers Morgan Uncensored to talk about Doge and Trump's tariffs. Now, whatever your opinion is of Cenk or his show, I've got to say, whenever he's on with Piers, he does a solid job pushing back against all the MAGA talking points and the usual right-wing spin. So in this video, we're going to go through some of their exchange. I've got a few thoughts of my own too, so let's check it out together.
I just think when people look at Trump and think he doesn't know what he's doing, as you said, it's all chaos, blah, blah. I honestly don't believe that is the case. He's got some very smart people around him, not least Elon Musk. And whatever people think of Musk, when they say he's stupid, they're the stupid ones. He's one of the most brilliant minds in America. Now, he's a little odd, there's no question. By his own admission, he's a bit autistic. He doesn't behave in the way that we might normally expect our political leaders to behave, and he kind of is a political leader in a way. But what he's doing with Doge, for example, I imagine that resonates very well with most Americans if they keep finding clear evidence of waste.
Yeah, well, so the idea of finding waste, fraud, and abuse has been popular forever and ever. And in fact, Al Gore actually did a pretty good job in finding a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse during the Clinton administration. They cleaned it out, and Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. So there is waste, fraud, and abuse there. The place you would start is subsidies. There's like $30 billion in oil subsidies. It's just nothing but a robbery. I can show you robbery after robbery. Corporations pay money to politicians, and they get subsidies out. I despise it. So if that's what they did, they would be intensely popular. But what did he do instead? Oh, I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of people that came in last. I'm going to fire a whole bunch of people without even looking. And then that made it really unpopular. They've somehow found a way to make fighting fraud, waste, and abuse unpopular. It's now at 37% and dropping in terms of Doge's popularity. So there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I mean, you can make excuses about autistic, et cetera, but I need a brother who can think through a plan. Both Musk and Trump are like, I'll just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. That one stuck.
Is Elon Musk, is he underestimating the difference between, or misunderstanding the difference between the business world, in which he's been all-conquering, and the political world? In other words, some things may make completely logical business sense, but from a political standpoint, if you start to see the polls massively responding negatively, Trump's a politician now. He's not going to let that slide for very long.
Yeah, that's why he reined him in. So that's why I say he does A/B testing. He tries one thing. If it doesn't work, he goes to the next thing. And by the way, that is, to be fair to your point of view, that is a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan to say, well, look, I don't really know what's going to work, but I'll try this. And if it doesn't work, I'll retract.
Well, what I think he's doing, Winston, I think he's trying to force action to be taken to resolve things that have been unresolvable, right? The Ukraine war. You know, I spoke to him a couple of weeks before he got inaugurated, and he was telling me that the Pentagon has said 100,000 people had died on the battlefield in the previous 6 weeks. 100,000. Oh, it's on both sides, right? He said it was based like a World War I killing field, with flat fields, and they're just killing each other all day long.
Okay, let me just pause for a second here, because what Cenk Uygur said about Doge, yeah, that part really hits. Like, he's bringing up something that's honestly been talked about forever on the left, but for some reason, it just never gets enough attention when it should. I mean, we're talking about oil subsidies here, literally giving billions to already insanely rich companies so they can keep drilling for oil. It's ridiculous. That's one of the first things you'd cut if you were serious about eliminating waste and abuse. It's just robbery straight up. That kind of stuff should have been shut down decades ago. And then you've got Piers, right? Bringing up this idea that government should be run like a business. And I just, man, no. That logic is so tired and it's so broken. A business can fail. Like, if a burger joint isn't doing well, they close it down, right? You can't do that with government. You can't just be like, well, nobody's using the fire department enough, so we're shutting it down next week. What? No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Roads, emergency services, public health, they're not profit driven. They're necessities. And this idea that Elon Musk or anyone like him could just walk in and optimize government like it's a tech startup. It's not just naive, it's dangerous. It doesn't work like that. And honestly, it's kind of insane that we're still even pretending it might.
Said it has to stop. Now, did he have the one-day fix? Of course, he didn't. No, I don't think anyone thought he did. Has what he's done since hastened a potential settlement? I would argue it has. He's got Zelensky to agree to the parameters of a peace arrangement. He's got to persuade Putin. That's the big test. We'll see if Putin goes along with it or what Trump does to Putin to make him go along with it. But I do see method there to what he's doing. Same with Israel. We're going to come to the Israel-Gaza situation a little later. But I do see, like the tariffs. He's always been on about tariffs, Trump.
Tariffs is his favourite word.
I've known Trump 20 years. He's always had a bee in his bonnet about tariffs and about other countries ripping America off. And so he's saying, right, if you're going to do this to us, we're going to whack you. And they're all blinking, by the way, these countries.
Yeah, I just would like to talk about tariffs because I think that's really important. As we're talking, a lot of what's happening in the stock exchange is because of his tariffs. Now, why this is really important is because he managed to appeal to working people in America, the forgotten, the Rust Belt, the flyover state people whose industries were gutted. I think we might have some agreement on this. These were left behind Americans. And they were left behind by globalism, by free trade across the world. They were the ones who suffered.
Indisputably.
Now, his ideas with tariffs, whether or not he can pull them off, none of us can know whether or not it will. But the idea is to bring back, to onshore those industries, encourage manufacturing. I would note Elon Musk has said he's going to double Tesla productions, increase manufacturing in America. This is done specifically for the working people of America. It's a reason why the unions, or at least uneducated unions...
He's a working class hero, Cenk.
No, nonsense. So look, here's the thing. Is he running as a populist? Yes, he ran as a populist. Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, etc. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense. You know it's not going to cover the $4.5 trillion. It's a giant giveaway. Look, he's a bit of a Trojan horse for corporate rule. So he rolls in as a populist. He opens up the hatch. And then next thing you know, Elon Musk and all the tech bros come out of the horse and go, give us giant tax cuts. Give us deregulation. Fire everyone at the SEC. Fire all the inspector generals. Why? Because we're going to rob the place blind. And then we'll give me a crypto reserve filled with junk that makes no sense at all. So trillions of dollars in robbery headed in our direction. And who's it going to help? The average American? No, it's going to rob the average American to help corporate executives. So let's be honest about what's happening.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the tariffs for a second, because this is one of those things Republicans love to bring up. Like, oh, this is exactly what the American people elected Trump to do. And I'm sitting here thinking, really, I don't remember anyone saying, yeah, let's start a trade war with Canada. Like, seriously, Canada, what are we doing now? Trump's out there throwing insults and Canada's clapping back, and it's just a mess. I mean, nobody I know thought of Canada as any kind of threat. But somehow Trump treats our actual allies like trash and then turns around and acts super friendly with guys like Putin and Kim Jong-un. It's just upside down. And the funniest part to me is how they keep hyping up these tariffs as some genius way to bring jobs back to America. Like, okay, do they honestly think companies are going to pay workers here the same way they pay them in places like Mexico? I looked it up. Some of these auto workers in Mexico are making $1 an hour. $1. I think it was BMW paying that, which is a German company, but still American companies aren't paying a whole lot either down there. So yeah, if you bring those jobs back to the US, you better believe wages are going up, and that's not a bad thing. But then don't turn around and complain that workers are getting paid too much. I remember growing up hearing people rag on union auto workers. Oh, they're making $60,000 a year to turn a wrench. And now what? You bring those jobs back and expect folks to work for minimum wage. Like, you can't have it both ways. You want good American jobs, then you have to pay people decently. You want cheap products? Well, guess what? That usually means offshoring and low wages somewhere else. You've got to pick one. You can't demand both and act shocked when it doesn't work. Anyway, that's my take. Do you agree with what Cenk Uygur was saying? What did you think about the other British guy? I didn't catch his name. It wasn't in the notes, but I wasn't familiar with him. And yeah, Piers Morgan was doing his usual thing, defending Trump like he always does. But I want to hear from you. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Polyscope, and I'll catch you in the next video.